Star, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So every week I try to kick off the podcast with something clever to say, but this week all I got is, hello there. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
Well, I was okay until you stole my opening line.
Ha ha!
How you doing, Joe?
Doing pretty good. Even better now that I stole your line.
Oh, good.
Oh, those unconscious moments that just work out.
Yeah.
I am sorry, though.
No. I mean, it was kind of like the low-hanging fruit, wasn't it?
It's low-hanging, man. I mean, literally, like, I'm thinking about, like, oh, how do I open a show this week? And all I could think of is, like, I got to fit hello there in there. Like,
of course.
Like, of course. And I'm sure everyone knows, unless you're living under a rock, the reason why we're so stuck on that line is it's here. The Kenobi trailer.
It's here, yes. Yes.
And what a day it was, right? Like, it kicks off with the Entertainment Weekly. Like, it's going to be our final print edition, and we had to go big. Kenobi!
Yeah, Kenobi, yeah.
Holy crap.
How much bigger can you go, right?
Yeah, I saw the cover. I was like, I got to buy this one.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I got to buy this one. That I saw that cover. I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, I was already hyped. I'm like, yes, Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming.
Absolutely.
And then, what, like 4 hours later?
Yeah.
It might have only been 2 or 3 hours later, actually.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure of the time differential, but
like, I pick up my phone, it's like, the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer has dropped. I'm like, holy crap.
Yep.
This is a huge day.
Yes. I love days like this because
I was already feeling good.
I have people texting me, right? Trailers dropped, look great. Yeah, I'm working. But it's awesome because they always want to, people want to be the first to let me know,
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
I always love that. Like, people walking up to me at work, like, hey, did you see the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer yet? It's like, no, I'm working.
Exactly. Yes. I have a job to do. Hey, you should be doing yours.
Like, let me go get the rule book where it says, hey, don't look at your phone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But
anyway,
in all honesty, if I was looking, I mean, if I'd have saw it, oh yeah, I'm breaking the rules. I'm going to watch it right there.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. It's kind of how it works.
Like, yeah, I'll take the write-up.
Well, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, you might as well go all the way with the write-up, though. When your supervisor or manager comes up and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And be like, hold on.
Yeah, wait.
40 more seconds.
Yeah, this is more important.
I'll sign that paper with gusto.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's here. And, well, Doug, was it everything you expected it would be?
Oh, I had no expectations. There's certain things that I'm kind of hoping to see in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I haven't seen all of them yet. And
well, I mean,
there are some things that we saw in the trailer that I gotta say I wasn't quite expecting to see so much of. Not that that's bad, but interesting. So,
well, I would venture to say, like, first off, this is going to be weird to say, with how prevalent the 3 Inquisitors that we see are in the trailer.
I'm
like, man, Inquisitors probably ain't going to be in this very much.
Oh, really? You think not going to be?
Yeah, I think they'll be there, and they may even make a weekly appearance.
Okay. Because that's where I was going to go. It's like I've already done some IMDb looking up here, and like Grand Inquisitor, which Rupert Friend.
Mm-hmm.
6 episodes. Yep. So
all 6.
Yep. But that's what I was referring to, is how Inquisitor heavy this trailer was. I wasn't quite expecting to see that much weight to it. So
this is going to go one of 2 ways, right? Like I just said, they'll make their weekly appearance, but it's not going to be too heavy. The trailer's heavy because it's we got to tease. This is the threat, right? Like,
okay, yeah.
Or we're going to wonder why this series wasn't called Inquisitors.
Let's hope it's not that. I mean, little, the little bits we got to see of Kenobi. Speaking of heavy, it looks like there's a lot of weight on his shoulders right now.
Yeah.
The Inquisitor thing, judging from the dialogue in the trailer, along with what we see, we clearly see a citizen like hanging in the street. Also heavy, right? Like pretty on the dark side things going on there.
Definitely on the neck.
Yeah. It looks like the Inquisitor's job is to go out in the galaxy
and ask questions,
stir up a bunch of crap, and draw Jedi out, right?
Well, I will say this, okay? One thing that it was hinted at in Rebels, but I never felt like they really explored that avenue, which they have the title Inquisitors, right?
Right.
Inquisitors. That doesn't seem like an assassin, right? It seems like they're the ones out there to hunt them down, figure out where they're at,
right?
And it's an inquisition, right? They're
Yes.
questioning everybody,
right?
And Inquisitors, when you have that title, you're not asking questions in a nice way. You're not just interrogating,
right?
You're torturing.
Yeah.
You're killing one to make an example, to get answers out of others.
Right.
So I have a feeling we're going to see that out of the Inquisitors in this. I think moving to live action, they're feeling they can go that route a little bit more.
Yeah.
In animation, you're dealing with younger audiences typically.
Yes.
You don't want to show so much of that.
True.
You don't hear the name Inquisitor and just think it's like, oh, they're out just because otherwise they're bounty hunters. With what you saw in Rebels, they were essentially bounty hunters. They get told they got to go find something and they're looking for that.
Yeah.
When you put the title Inquisitor on there, you kind of expect there's some nastier stuff going down to get to that information.
Right.
And this is going to explore that a little more. Obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Some person hanging in a street.
Exactly. And these Inquisitors we know display some Force abilities, so I'm sure that they have like an upper hand whenever they're trying to, glean some information from the populace there, who might be hiding it, right? So there is that, which kind of we saw Owen Lars as one of the citizens there out in the street, and that coupled with one of the photos from the EW article where he is face to face with what's her name?
I got this.
Yeah, I'm looking too. It's Riva. So it's like I get the feeling that she knows he's hiding something, right? And
I get the feeling that she's the reason why he has a sour taste in his mouth when it comes to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, very, very, very possible. I mean,
layman's terms, she's going to kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, I have to say what I've seen of Owen Lars in this so far. Joel Edgerton is doing a great job just from what I've seen so far. Just the photo and the little bit in the trailer. It's like,
Right.
oh yeah, this has got the Owen Lars vibe,
While we're on this face-to-face photo in Entertainment Weekly,
Yeah.
I do want to highlight what they say here. Which it says that Joel Edgerton is back as Uncle Owen,
Right.
and we don't necessarily like his odds in the face-off with Reva. Okay, now Uncle Owen lives
Right.
until he is killed in A New Hope.
Yeah, incinerated. Yep.
So I think his odds are pretty good to get out of this fine.
Yep.
So I didn't like that wording right there. I'm like,
Right.
we know the story after this. So
Yeah, exactly.
If you're just coming in, okay. I get it. But that's not the moment you should use to highlight the fierceness of this new Inquisitor. Because, and she's not going to kill him.
Right.
I think she's going to beat the crap out of him.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if that's where you're going with this, sure, okay. Yeah, I don't like the prospects to his health.
Right.
His odds are fine. He's going to live. But prospects to his health, yeah, he might be hurting for a while.
Yeah, I can see that. And you're right. In the end, I got a feeling he is going to blame all of it on Obi-Wan.
Yes.
If Obi-Wan wasn't here, none of this would have ever happened. That kind of thing. So that's
I could see that going one of two ways. He wasn't here. If he wasn't here, none of this would have happened. Or if he was here, he would have been able to protect us from the beatdown we got.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So maybe this happens when he's gone. He's off world.
It's possible.
Like, look, he was supposed to be our protector.
I got a feeling that maybe their arrival could chase him off world too, or there's some sort of coincidence going on that brings them to Tatooine and makes Obi-Wan leave or something like that. I got a feeling.
So you think he left to throw him off the scent, or to draw them away?
Well,
like not necessarily throw him off the scent, but to draw him away.
There's a lot of we'll call it rumor of why Obi-Wan leaves, and I believe it's twofold, right? One, to throw him off the scent, and two, he's got a mission to take care of. And yeah, we don't care about like spilling rumors, right?
No.
Okay. So the rumors Bail Organa needs him to rescue Leia from something or another. So, that would take him off world. But I have a feeling.
I don't know if I like that rumor.
Well, that is a rumor.
I didn't get the impression that Leia had ever met Obi-Wan Kenobi. And if they're gonna do the whole like Leia's unconscious to not see General Grievous,
Yeah.
Know where I'm going with that?
Yeah, you never know. It's funny because it might work out that way. Because if Obi-Wan is actually going to do something to rescue Leia, he might have to figure out a way to do it without exposing himself as a Jedi. So she never would have known it was him or how she was able to escape or something like that, This is all speculation, clearly, but,
Although I will say this shot of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Daiyu, this new planet that they're going to.
Yes.
if he's trying not to look like a Jedi, he's doing a crap job just off the get.
Come on now. This is Star Wars. Everyone wears hoods.
Not the guy in the background.
Oh, okay. Fine.
I see his curly hair plenty.
That's true. But plenty of people wear hoods.
Yeah, those look a lot like Jedi robes.
They're not Jedi robes.
No, they look a lot like Jedi robes. I didn't say they were Jedi robes.
Yeah. They're clearly not Jedi robes. There haven't been Jedi around in 10 years. What are you talking about?
Like, all of his clothing is very Jedi robe influenced.
Yeah. Well.
Like, this one where he's feeding this, what are they called?
Eope?
Yeah. Where he's feeding that, like, that looks like, okay, that's his desert wear, right?
Right.
But even that's got the Jedi robe vibe, man. Like,
I guess. I don't know.
like it's like if you're mashing up styles, it's got a little Tusken, little Jedi.
Yes. Desert denizen. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, it's certainly there to protect you from the harsh twin suns.
Yeah, but just the way he's got it folded, just that part screams like, this guy's a Jedi.
I'm not so sure. I think if you got down on a more granular level of fashion, totally not Jedi. So, yeah, I went there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, real quick, back to this Inquisitor, Reva.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I have a feeling she's going to be the main antagonist. I got a feeling that Obi-Wan may end up taking her out, because I don't recall seeing her in Rebels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other Inquisitors that we do know from Rebels, we see in here as well. So I don't think they're going to factor in as much, right? Especially the Grand Inquisitor. I got a feeling he's going to be leading the crew from afar, kind of thing. And
well, I will say this, like, even the Entertainment Weekly article, I believe, referred to her as the big bad.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah.
So, I mean, and to say she's the big bad when you have the Grand Inquisitor included,
Oh,
is
yeah. It says big bad right there. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
so when you say that this character is the big bad, when you have the Grand Inquisitor involved, that means Kenobi and the Grand Inquisitor are never going to cross sabers.
I agree 100%, because Kenobi would have to win that fight.
Yeah.
And
Kenobi and the fifth brother are not going to clash sabers.
right.
But I guaranteed Kenobi and Reva, they clash sabers.
Yes, I think so too.
And maybe more than once.
Right. Yep. That's 100% the vibe I'm getting from this. Yeah, I don't think I'm starting to feel too like, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Hayden and in the suit, right, as Vader and all that. We see that. I got a feeling that might just be like a pretty brief moment, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can put Vader in there with any kind of substantial role at this point in the timeline and you know, have it I don't know, cuz I don't know. I'm wrestling with this because
Look, Vader's that bad guy that you can't have getting defeated all the time.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
But people are talking, you know, it could work if they had a duel, right? You know, all the dialogue from A New Hope, you know, you shouldn't have come back, blah, 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 all that, whatever. But it's like,
if they have a duel, it's going to be not a defeat for either character,
right.
but a stalemate that ends up in a retreat for Kenobi.
Right.
He ran away. This is why you should not have come back.
Right.
You left.
Yep.
So yeah, that's not. There cannot be a substantial, a really substantial moment between the two.
Right.
It has to be, if he does come into that kind of conflict, he does fight at all. He fights just to get out.
Yes.
He's not fighting to defeat.
Yeah, I would agree, because it doesn't work that way then.
If Luke were already full grown and, able to protect himself and get us, yeah, he may be a little more reckless and stand off with them. But he's got other things to worry about, so he's getting out of there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he knows at this point. He's been in solitude.
Yeah.
His force ability is waning. He's not going to be able to contend with someone like Anakin, who's out, in good practice, right?
Right. Yeah.
This is something that's been alluded to before, like this suppression of your force ability.
Right.
It weakens you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's something that you have to exercise in order to keep it up to snuff. Yeah. So this whole notion of a confrontation with Vader, I think the big deal about that moment may be, he might know it, but the moment they're in the same room with each other and there's that connection through the Force, in that moment of realization, like, probably, that would, for someone like Obi-Wan, knowing what he had to do with Anakin, it'd almost kill him to see him again like he is now as Vader.
Right.
So,
look, it was a hard fight when he was only half rage, right?
when he was only half what?
Half rage.
Right. Yes.
When you were still kind of getting through to him and still being able to talk to him a little bit.
Yes.
What kind of opponent is he going to be when he's at, rage turned up to 11?
Exactly.
And all he did was thought that, you tricked his wife into, coming to find him to kill him.
Right.
Now he's going to be like, well, you cut me in half and left me at a river of lava.
Exactly.
That's a next level pissed,
Yes,
right? Like,
exactly. Yes. So,
like, you go into this fight, like, you never, like, willingly walk into a fight when you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get my ass kicked.
yeah, that's not a good move.
No. And you have Obi-Wan whose power is waning and Vader's power is growing.
Yeah. Now, I like your idea that if there's a confrontation, it is clearly Obi-Wan trying to get the heck out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not going to be a...
Not to mention, he knows he's got to stay alive because he's got a job to do, right?
Right. He has this task that he's taken.
Right.
And if anything, this is just going to double down on his exile, right?
Absolutely.
He's going to feel like, oh, I risked way too much with this.
Yeah.
And that may be the moral of this whole series, is that he went out, he tried to still be, this protector of the galaxy. And all he did was risk everything he was there to protect.
Right. Yeah, this might showcase the one incident where things almost went way wrong. Yeah, I can see that. But that brings us to another moment in the trailer I'd like to bring up is him actually watching over Luke Skywalker, who we actually get to see in the trailer, which I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. I don't want to call it a big reveal in the trailer, but it was like neat to see.
Well, it was a big reveal in the trailer. One, you look at Luke right there.
Yeah, you say, where's his blonde hair?
Where's that? But
yeah,
you ask, you just kind of see, Anakin.
Absolutely. I think that was deliberate with the goggles and all that.
Yeah, that was very deliberate.
Yeah.
This is Obi-Wan looking at the kid he raised.
Absolutely.
And another kid he's sworn to protect.
Yep.
And I think that's going to add a lot to Obi-Wan's character going forward. Because even though he's watching this kid grow up and exert all these similarities to Anakin.
Right.
But he's still going to be the one telling Yoda, no, this boy's our only hope.
Yeah.
This is the one to bring the balance. Like, he's going to put aside any prejudice that could have come from his fight with Anakin. His heartbreak at Anakin's fall.
Right.
He's going to put all that aside and still say, no, Luke is the one.
Yep.
He's not going to let everything he's seen cloud what potential he sees in him. He's a true teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Any personal biases or anything you might have are we know this from what we've seen already, right? Are tossed aside because he,
And in all honesty, even in the trailer, that might be the extent we see of Luke in the entire series.
It might be, and that's okay, because I don't think it's awesome to see. We need to see that moment, right, where he's watching over Luke, because that's what he's there to do. I think what might be more important is his interactions with Owen.
Yes,
because that's going to inform how Owen feels about Obi-Wan later on in A New Hope.
I mean, it's either that, or we will see this good relationship between him and Owen, and his whole keeping Luke away from him thing is just like, look, he's here to protect you. You're not supposed to know about him.
Right.
There may not be any bad blood there.
It's a possibility. And
but this is going to answer that question. Like, is Owen truly like,
it will.
Oh, is he saying he's just a crazy old hermit because he honestly thinks he's a problem, or is he saying that just because this is deflection? This is for Luke's protection. He can't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
Right.
He can't know Obi-Wan Kenobi. He can know Ben, the crazy hermit out there in the, he can know who that is, but he just needs to be the crazy hermit.
Right. Parental figures do this all the time, knowing what's best for their kids, and knowing all the whole reason behind it, but the kid doesn't need to know everything that the parent knows, right? So it very well could be that way. And I gotta say, it'd be a nice little twist if that was the case.
Yeah,
because as much as a hard ass Owen seems to be in A New Hope, he's doing it out of the love
pure
of
love
his
and
kid.
protection
Yeah,
for Luke,
exactly.
as opposed to a distaste for Obi-Wan.
Right.
I think that in all honesty, that's what we're probably going to see. We're probably going to love Owen more after this.
God, I would love to see that. Actually, that'd be awesome.
Like he really went all in to protect this child.
Yeah. Like, you think about it, just like Obi-Wan's playing his part for 20 years, so is Owen playing his role in Luke's life for 20 years without ever letting on, God, that'd be awesome.
I mean, it would be awesome, but the one thing that still leads me to believe that that's not going to be the case is the interaction with Obi-Wan where he says, but your uncle wouldn't allow it, about the lightsaber.
Yeah. But I mean, see, that whole thing from Obi-Wan in episode 4 is kind of like he's approaching this from an angle to get Luke to do what he needs Luke to do. And that is come with him off-world to Alderaan. So he's playing on Luke's desires to leave and his, his longing to get off the farm,
Yeah, and well, I guess that's true because he always, in this time, he's always telling things from a certain point of view, right?
Right.
And him saying that's probably true. His uncle wouldn't have allowed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, before we go too far, I did see something that did make me chuckle today. You talked about, Obi-Wan watching over Luke and seeing Luke in the background, just being a kind of like, ground to where we're at.
Yeah.
And I thought of Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
When Darth Maul confronts Obi-Wan for the final time.
Right.
And the way that sequence ends with Luke running across the sunset.
Yes.
You can barely see that he's in shadow, right?
Yep.
Sam Witwer tweeted today. This guy's a blast, man. So he says, ever had someone be like rude to you? Then he gets a big promotion at work or something? Please respect my privacy today. Hashtag Kenobi.
Okay.
Because he voiced Maul.
Yeah.
He's just saying, like, Kenobi. He's
I see.
staying in character. He's like, Kenobi's a dick.
Gotcha.
Like, seriously?
Yeah. I see.
It made me laugh. I read it. And like it like popped up on my feed. I'm like, what's Sam Witwer mad about? Like, and I like read it and I read the whole thing. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
He loves the characters he plays.
Yeah, for sure.
Because let's not be fooled. Sam Witwer watched that trailer and he is pumped.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. Absolutely.
And that's him saying he's pumped.
Right. So, what else did you see that kind of struck you here in this thing?
Okay. Well, I wanna move to the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. One, I'll say this. I thought using the Grand Inquisitor for the voiceover for this trailer was an extremely bold move.
Okay.
Rebels, we see these characters in animation and stuff, but the thing we really latch onto is voices.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jason Isaac's voice is very distinct. And hearing this guy's Grand Inquisitor versus Jason Isaac's Grand Inquisitor, I mean, it's just not. They don't carry the same weight.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, I'll say this. I'm fine with this. And even seeing him, and like, I guess before I say why I'm fine with this, I'll continue. Seeing him, I'm like, man, I don't know. It's just, this may be nitpicky, but man, his head's just a little round.
Right.
It's like the Inquisitor has a thinner, like longer head, right? Like,
right. This is, you're not the only one who's noticed and has mentioned it. I'll just throw that out there.
And I just like, I look at him and I picture Jason Isaacs in there compared to him, and I'm like, that might have worked a little better. You know, yeah. Jason Isaacs doesn't have as long of a head as the Inquisitor does, but his head it's thinner, right? And just the way it's shaped, it's more proportioned to what the Inquisitor would be than this one.
Right.
Nitpicky as hell. I know.
Yeah.
But in the end, I mean, it's fine. You know, the Inquisitor's head is unnatural. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
If they're going to be human appearing at all, his head's very unnatural. It's super long. It's really kind of ridiculous.
Right.
And the art style of Rebels doesn't really translate to going to look fantastic in live action, period.
Right.
It's just not. Not if you try to make an exact rendition of all of it. Everyone's going to look like Immune. So,
yeah.
It's fine. But the main takeaway here is I'm completely okay with this guy's casting and his voice and all that because it opens Jason Isaacs to play Thrawn.
Nice. Yes.
Like,
okay. You're looking down the road here.
Looking down the road. I'm looking at the bright side,
yeah.
right?
Ahsoka, maybe.
Yeah. Not that far down the road.
Right.
Because I thought that was a bold move. Like, here you got Jason Isaacs. He says he'd love to play this character.
Sure.
His voice is fabulous for this character.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great character in Rebels. Even though when he first showed up, I was like, really? Helicopter lightsaber? Like,
yeah.
What the hell is that?
I know, yes. Let's hope they don't do that here.
Yeah, as they're doing that here.
Well, I mean, actually floating down with these helicopters.
Oh, yeah. If they go flying with them, that's going to be dumb.
Yeah.
But they're already showing the lightsabers are there.
Spinning. Okay. I'm fine with that. But,
yeah.
You know.
Don't fly on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get lift out of a...
Yeah, lightsaber. I know. Hey. Physics don't apply, right?
I know. Well, then I guess they can do it.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Okay. So... I just wanted to address this. You said bold move with the voiceover of the Inquisitor in this trailer. I feel like this was very intentional on the part of Lucasfilm. Because, because there's going to be people who've seen all the films, who've seen all of the television series now, except for the animated stuff. And they're going to be going to people like you and like me and like everyone listening and saying, who the heck is this guy? And that gives them time to explain to all their friends who the Grand Inquisitor is.
Okay, so I understand that.
I think that's intentional on Lucasfilm's part because they know that's going to happen. And once people, in fact, in my opinion...
Yeah, but I think they could have got the same effect even if it was Jason Isaacs that did it. Everyone's still going to be like, who the hell?
Well, yeah, fine. I'm just talking about the character, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're introducing this character in the first teaser trailer. I'd be interested to see if the numbers for streaming Rebels bumps up this weekend. So that people know who that is. They do their homework before Kenobi comes out. I got a feeling it might happen.
You know, it is a good timing for that, too, because isn't there an anniversary or something for Rebels right now?
Is there?
I think so.
I'm not sure. But I just feel like there's a method to this madness of, making the Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor so prominent in this. even the fifth brother has a very distinctive look, right? He's got that wide rimmed hat that he wears and all that. And, that's also another character you'll recognize from Rebels very easily. I wouldn't put it past him to do this kind of thing on purpose. Use your fan base as a means to market.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So March 6th was Rebels Remembered Day.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it was the date of the last episode of Rebels.
I see.
So
interesting.
Yeah. Kind of interesting that this trailer comes out, 3 days after the end of Rebels, where 2 of these characters premiered.
Yeah.
They really know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they do. I think, I think this is a strategic move for sure.
That's wild. They're good at that. I mean, this series is coming out in May.
Right.
Is it to the day of A New Hope?
Yeah. So May 25th was the original release date of A New Hope, yes. So yeah, it's going to be on the same date, which is nice. I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're hitting nostalgia everywhere they go. They're just swinging their fists and hitting nostalgia.
Absolutely. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of nostalgia in this, right? It's going to have stuff that makes people go, "Oh yeah, there's that," or whatever, right? But I think we're also going to get, a brand new story that, is going to take us on a ride that we weren't quite expecting. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And, I agree with you that the brand new ride, but I will say I am very excited to see Star Wars animation with Clone Wars and Rebels finally getting their due.
Oh, yeah.
And it coming to live action where it's going to get much more exposure.
Oh, yeah.
Both of these shows are going to see an uptick in viewership.
Yes, I think so too.
Just because of this crossover.
Right.
And it's, some of the Star Wars fans, we all know someone like this, right? That is original trilogy. That's it. Prequel trilogy be damned. Like, we all know some people like that. And the Clone Wars and Rebels really brought the prequel trilogy into a new light, into a new focus, and really fleshed it out in a great way. I love the prequel trilogy from the get, so I didn't need that convincing.
Right.
But I know people that did.
Yeah.
So I know people that were, when the prequel trilogy came out, they were haters. They were with Patton Oswalt and Simon Pegg and other idiots like that.
Gotcha. I don't know those guys.
And they were just haters, right?
Sure.
But they watched the Clone Wars and they came around. They may not have started loving the prequel trilogy, but they definitely appreciated it more.
Right.
I could see this just bringing the whole saga together better. And if they keep this trend up and work all these threads in all the way throughout, right? You start working these threads into the sequel trilogy and vice versa. You do some sequel trilogy stuff, that era stuff on Disney Plus and start to weave stuff from the past into it. You can make all this stuff so have such a synergy.
Yeah, that would be great. I think they need to do that. But I think, and what you're referring to here is like the Inquisitors, right? Which is going to tie this into Rebels. And then most likely, which I got to say, we haven't really seen yet, any, firsthand indications of how Hayden Christensen is going to play into this. But we're expecting flashbacks, yes, from the Clone Wars era. And even the likelihood that we may see Ahsoka in these flashbacks and possibly clones, which means Tamara Morrison, maybe. Who knows? Maybe they'll just be stunt guys with, helmets on. But, all of that would tie into the Clone Wars as well. And I think you're right. We might see a whole new renaissance of these animated shows getting a resurgence in viewership again, from this. And it could happen.
Which would be a fantastic thing, because the expansion of Star Wars lore in those shows.
Oh, yeah.
Is unbelievable.
Yes.
The number of people that would end up coming to me like, did you see the Mortis trilogy?
Oh, I know.
Like, duh.
Right.
I saw it when it aired.
or the Citadel arc, right? I mean, the whole bit with Anakin and Tarkin, and their interactions from before, and then their interactions later on the Death Star and stuff. It's like all that, the way all that plays together is like really cool as well. So,
yeah, and then I'll feel a lot better when there's, an exceptionally larger number of people that cried when Kanan died.
Yes.
I'll feel better.
Well, that was a big moment, man. I gotta say,
dude, I was like, I'm watching it. I'm like punching my leg, like, stop being a baby.
Right. Yes, of course. We were all there. Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is the second time in Star Wars that I'm crying. And the first time was also in animation.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
The first time that got me choked up in Star Wars was when Ahsoka was walking away from the temple.
Ah, gotcha.
Like I was feeling Anakin's pain.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's cool. That's and you know what? I mentioned the fans who have just seen the movies and maybe the live action shows. If they could get into these animated series and see these moments you're talking about right now, it's only going to enrich their Star Wars experience overall, and that's the whole point of it. I would love to see that happen. God.
Well, I mean, and I just mentioned it just because, like, we never got these crossovers, right? The closest we've gotten to this point was also in the Disney era, which was hearing the voices of some of these characters in the end of The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
That was the first glimpse that we're going to see crossovers from animation to live action.
Right.
And that's something those of us that have been on the animation bandwagon all along have been like, oh, please, please, please.
Yes.
And Kenobi is one of those great avenues for it because of Kenobi's involvement in those animation series.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny. I still automatically shorten the title of this series to Kenobi.
Yeah, I do the same thing. And, I...
and they only made it Obi-Wan Kenobi because we all said it was going to be Kenobi.
Yeah. Well, there's that book called Kenobi,
and we're not backing down.
Exactly.
It's Kenobi, damn it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like it just rolls off the tongue.
Certainly.
You just say Kenobi. It's like, yeah, you don't need it to say Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because
certainly not Phil Kenobi.
Well, here's the other reason, right? Here's the other reason. Should it be Obi-Wan Kenobi? should the series really be called Obi-Wan Kenobi as opposed to Kenobi?
Well, I mean, it's whatever they want to call it, right?
Well, we're entering a period right here where Obi-Wan Kenobi has a dual identity.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi.
Right.
This series should be called Kenobi, and this was this was just a shot back at like, oh, we know better than you.
Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I like it. It's a good
It
thought.
should just be called Kenobi because this is it, he's in exile. He's cast off that name. Even at the beginning of this trailer, they're like making the case for just calling this Kenobi.
Right.
You know, we lost.
We lost. Yeah. Yeah, the fighting's over. We've lost. That alone, that voiceover right there, that alone shows you the weight he's feeling about everything that's gone down. And I imagine if that is dialogue taken from the show, that has got to be him talking to Qui-Gon. I would imagine. But you know, it's such a heavy weight for him to be thinking about that, because he knows the effects that everything he's saying has on the galaxy. You know, he knows what the implications are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's now an empire with a Darth Vader rolling around. You know, it's and that one right there, he's got to feel like, God, and that is my fault. You know.
Yeah, I mean, all he had to do was a little force, like, "Hoo-ya!"
Exactly.
Into the lava, and
kick
it's
him
over.
into the lava, and it's all over. Right. At least for the Vader part.
But
Then he could have came back
Obi-Wan
and said,
Kenobi, at the same time, though, like they can't do that, right? Because Obi-Wan Kenobi is a character that represents like everything that is good,
"True,
you know, and you know, flawed maybe,
absolutely. Every good
Flawed.
character has flaws."
but still everything that is good.
Yeah,
You know, this is why Luke is so torn up after only knowing him for 45 minutes.
exactly.
You know, like, and even with his conversations afterwards, and this is where, you know, I guess they still kind of weave this into the story because Leia names her child Ben.
Right.
You know, that name didn't come from nowhere.
Exactly.
You know, he is a character that represents all that is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he couldn't have finished it. Like, even leading up to it, he even said, "I can't do it. I can't kill Anakin."
Right.
Well, he didn't. But he thought he defeated him good enough that it didn't matter.
Right. Exactly. You know, it's funny. You mentioned that Leia names her son Ben. I'm wondering now if this has got something to do with this rescue mission. Like, it's, you know, maybe she didn't realize that Ben Kenobi was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Might be something to this.
Oh, so you're saying maybe she gets help from Ben Kenobi in this series?
Yes.
Didn't realize she was dealing with the same person in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Correct.
Damn it, Doug.
Sorry. Hey.
I feel like it's still I'm passed out, so I don't actually see Grievous.
I mean, it might be that sort of.
No, even
thing,
that,
you know?
even that connection right there. Not realizing Ben is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is Ben.
I mean, really, when you think about A New Hope, the only time Leia sees him is when he's fighting Vader.
I mean, it makes sense because Luke's like, I know a Ben Kenobi.
Right.
Don't know anyone named Obi. You know, like,
Yeah.
and then Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time."
Right. Exactly.
So, like, man, this is Superman's glasses, right? Like,
Heck yeah, it is. I actually kind of like it. Oh,
It
wow.
would be feeding into it. Like, man, he changed his name to Ben, and no one caught on.
Exactly.
How many Kenobis are out there?
Not to mention, it's the same alias that he's been using since the Clone Wars.
Right. I forgot about his code name Ben.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, people miss what's right under their nose. All right. Anything else from the trailers in this?
No, I think we've covered it pretty good. I got a feeling that as time goes on and it sinks in some more, I think we're gonna have some more things to glean from this. But for right now, I think we've pretty much hit all the highlights.
All right. So before we get out of here, I want to bring up an old topic, an old complaint of mine.
Okay.
So I complained a while back about this Disney Villainous series, right? Board games.
Yeah. I remember this.
So
yeah.
The Disney Villainous board games, you know, it was great when they were doing just Disney. Like, I'm like, fine, okay, it's Disney Villainous, cool.
Right.
Then they brought Marvel into the equation, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're doing Disney Villainous, and you're bringing Marvel into it. Where's the Star Wars?
Yeah.
Well, they had a Marvel Villainous expansion on top of the first one. And I'm still like, what's going on here? But it seems they're finally making it right. So they have a new, I don't know if it's an expansion or if it's going to be a standalone like the Marvel one was.
Okay.
But they are coming out with Star Wars Villainous, Power of the Dark Side.
Nice.
So Villainous, I mentioned before, I love this game because of its ease of play. This is a game you can play with almost anyone, and they can catch on relatively quickly.
Okay.
A lot of times when you get into these themed board games, it gets complicated, right?
Yeah. Sometimes.
And I run into that all the time. Like, I have friends over or something like that, and I'm like, oh, you guys will love this game. And like, we try playing it, and they're like, I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. It'll take you 3 days to learn the rules.
Right. Well, the Villainous games, I feel they're easier to learn than most.
Okay, cool.
I think it helps that you're playing for yourself. You don't have to work with anyone else. Things like that.
Okay.
Things like that.
Yep.
It's a super simple game. But yes, Star Wars Villainous, Power of the Dark Side. It's going to include 5 characters. So you'll be able to play as Darth Vader, of course.
Nice. Of course, yes.
You can't do this.
I was going to say, that is the original big bad for Star Wars, yeah.
You cannot exclude, yeah. Kylo Ren.
Okay.
Asajj Ventress.
Okay.
General Grievous. Or Moff Gideon.
Oh. Okay.
So they're also kind of covering their bases, right?
Yeah.
They're reaching out. They're covering a wide spectrum of villains.
No Palpatine.
No Palpatine.
Interesting.
But I think that, so they like to do expansions, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is a good move because you're avoiding crossing over characters in the same era. You got Vader. Do you need Palpatine?
Gotcha.
You know?
Yep.
You could come out with an expansion. You got Palpatine. You know, you got Thrawn.
Right.
You know, things like that. You can throw these other characters in there.
Yep.
Count Dooku.
Yep. I gotcha.
So
Makes
they don't
total
like
sense.
to smash too many from the same era. And this one, I feel like they did a really good job of not really overlapping, because even with Grievous and Ventress, that's pretty close to overlapping.
Right.
But you can make the argument that Grievous is from the Clone Wars in the features, whereas Ventress is from the Clone Wars era in the animated series.
Right.
So you can kind of make that separation.
Yeah.
And you could reach into Clone Wars and get a ton of stuff. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It's, yeah. Huh.
So.
I like it. Well, hey, whenever you can put Star Wars into something cool like that, it's a plus for me.
Well, and this is one that, like I said, I was complaining about. I'm like, why isn't this happening?
Right?
It did Marvel. Which I finally got caught up on, by the way. I think I mentioned this before. I got caught up on.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they did Marvel before Star Wars.
Because you are alone in this, let's say, mediocre taste in your mouth for the franchise. Sorry.
I don't think I'm alone.
Well, you're alone in screaming it from the rooftops, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone else is afraid they get mobbed by the adoring Marvel fans.
Oh, man. I just this past weekend, I ended up telling my brother I finally caught up. I've seen all the Marvel films. And he starts saying, oh, wasn't this awesome? I'm like, it's okay. And he's like, you're crazy. I'm like,
yeah, see, you're instantly crazy.
I'm like, why am I crazy? They did the same crap in the movie before that. I said, I'll tell you this. Of was it phase 3? Phase 2? It might be an overlap of phase 2, phase 3.
I have no idea what those are.
I don't know what the phases are. I can't come up with it. There's like 17 freaking movies.
Right.
Right. But I told him I liked Ant-Man in these later phases. I liked Ant-Man. I liked Black Panther. I liked Ant-Man and Wasp. The other ones were just okay.
Right.
He's like, you're nuts. I'm like, I'm not. These ones were different than the other ones. The other ones, like, dude, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame are the same freaking movie.
Pretty much.
Like, they really are. Like, if I had to rate them, Infinity War was the best one of the 3. Civil War, I had high hopes for. Because the Captain America movies prior to that were like, they were the best of those phases.
Yes.
So it's like, I had high hopes for Civil War. I got to that, I was like, ugh. Ant-Man was better. So, yeah. I'm just nuts, I guess.
Yep, you're nuts. Not according to me, but, people will say that.
Here's the thing. This is what they're not understanding. This is what the hardcore Marvel fans can't get, right? I didn't say a single one of them movies sucked.
Right.
They were enjoyable to watch.
Yep.
They just were not what you were leading me to believe they were.
Right.
I went in thinking, wow, I'm about to watch the best movie I've ever seen. And I'm watching it going, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing the same thing again. Like, okay, let me predict this one before I put it in. So the good guys are going to get the crap kicked out of them in the beginning.
Right.
Right? It's going to go really bad.
Yes.
I mean, really bad. Stuff's going to look dire. They're going to have some montage where they like figure something out, like this is the way we're going to beat them. And then they're going to beat them.
Right.
And then I watched the movie and I'm like, huh, look at that.
It's kind of just what I said, yeah.
So it's just too many movies for a genre, right? Like, there was just too many movies in the series for them to all be good all the way to the end.
Right.
The beginning ones, when they were surprising you, those were better to me.
I agree.
Because they were surprising me.
And, the thing is, once they hit on a formula,
Oh, they didn't shy away from it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, they did use the Iron Man movies to learn from their mistakes.
Right.
Because those were crap. Those are the ones I will say. The 3 Iron Man movies I should say 3. 2 of the Iron movies were absolute shit.
Nice.
The first one was okay.
Wow.
But 2 and 3, whoo, those were bad. You got a guy with crazy whips. That's your villain.
Nice.
Whiplash. Tier 3 villain in the Iron Man comics. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Don't know how I ended up there.
Board game, but you know.
Yeah. Still, went a little further with that than I expected.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, well, if you have anything to add, including your Marvel hate mail, you can always email us. show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media. At The Wars and More on Twitter. Facebook.com/TheWarsandMore. At The Wars and More on Instagram. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.